Tom wanted to read a good history book today. He decided to visit the big local city library. The library was only a short walk from his home. Tom put his empty backpack over his shoulder. He wore his usual simple blue t-shirt and jeans. He arrived at the large brick library building. The building looked very quiet and very old. He walked up the stone steps carefully to the door. Tom pushed the heavy wooden door open slowly. The air inside smelled old, like clean paper. The large entrance hall was wide and very tall. Tom walked to the main check-in counter easily. He saw a librarian sitting quietly behind the desk. The librarian was a quiet woman with glasses on. Tom asked where the history books were located. She pointed to the long, quiet back hallway there. She said, "The history section is on the second floor." Tom thanked her for the simple, clear directions. He was excited to find his special new book. He started walking toward the main staircase now. Tom walked to the wide wooden main staircase. The stairs creaked slightly under his soft shoes. He climbed the long stairs slowly to the second floor. The second floor was much quieter than the first level. Tom saw many rows of tall, dark wooden shelves there. The shelves were full of many different books. He walked between two long rows of books carefully. The silence here felt peaceful and very serious. He saw other students quietly reading at simple tables. Tom looked for the signs showing the subject categories. He found a small sign that clearly read history. The history section was located near the big windows. Tom walked toward the light coming from the windows. He put his empty backpack down on the clean floor. He began looking at the long titles on the book spines. Tom needed a book about ancient Roman times. He ran his fingers over the spines of the old books. Many of the books looked very heavy and very long. Tom was determined to find the best book on the topic. The search for the right book began seriously here. Tom kept looking for the specific books he needed. He searched the shelves from the left side to the right. He found a small section marked Ancient Civilizations. This specific section contained the Roman history books. Tom pulled out a very thick book about Julius Caesar. The book looked too big and very difficult to read. He placed the heavy book back onto the clean shelf. Then he saw a book with a bright picture of a Roman statue. The title was simple: Rome, a short introduction. Tom quickly pulled the attractive book from the shelf. He opened the book and looked at the first chapter easily. The writing seemed clear and simple to understand. Tom smiled because he found the perfect simple book now. He quickly put the chosen book into his empty backpack. He looked for a comfortable, quiet place to sit down. He saw a small, empty wooden table near the corner here. The table was next to a large, bright window clearly. Tom walked to the table and sat down in the wooden chair. He was ready to start reading his new interesting book. The sun shone warmly through the large library window. Tom took the new history book out of his backpack. He placed the book flatly on the small wooden table. He opened the book to the very first page to start. The first chapter was titled Founding the City. Tom began reading the short, simple introduction easily. He learned about the two brothers, Romulus and Remus. The simple story was immediately interesting to him. He read about the legends and the old simple myths. Tom focused deeply on the words written on the page. The library's silence helped him concentrate very well. He stopped reading to check the time on his phone. He had been reading for almost 30 minutes already. Tom decided to continue reading for another hour. He needed to take some simple notes for later use. He took out his notebook and a pencil from his bag. He wrote down the important names and the dates carefully. Tom felt his understanding of history growing quickly. He was happy to learn so many new, interesting facts. The small corner table was a perfect place to study. Tom continued reading the book with great focus now. Tom was deep into the story about the Roman kings. He heard a small noise near his quiet table here. A woman was looking for a book on the shelf behind him. She accidentally bumped the corner of Tom's table loudly. Tom's notebook and pencil fell onto the clean floor. The woman looked very embarrassed and quickly apologized. "Oh, I am very sorry for that simple mistake," she said. Tom smiled and said, "It is absolutely fine. Do not worry." He quickly bent down to pick up his fallen items now. The woman offered to help Tom pick up the pencil easily. They both stood up straight and smiled at each other now. The woman introduced herself as Lisa, a university student. Lisa was studying ancient languages for her simple course. She asked Tom about the interesting book he was reading now. Tom showed her the book about the ancient Roman times now. Lisa recommended another good, simple book on the topic. She wrote down the second book's title for Tom quickly. Tom thanked Lisa for the kind and helpful recommendation. Lisa returned to her book search and walked away softly. Tom was happy to meet another friendly, smart person here. Tom looked at the time and decided to stay longer. He was determined to finish 2 more full chapters. He opened his history book and found his last page. He continued reading about the Roman Republic easily. Tom focused on the political structures of the old city. He realized the systems were quite complicated then. He wrote down a new question in his simple notebook. He needed to ask the librarian about the simple term later. Tom stopped reading to look out the big window now. He saw a small bird sitting on a high tree branch outside. The simple view was very relaxing for his tired eyes. He took a sip of cool water from his personal bottle. Tom remembered Lisa's helpful book recommendation now. He decided to search for that book before leaving later. He made a mental note of the new book's simple title. Tom closed his eyes for just a short moment of rest. The silence of the large library was very soothing here. He returned to his reading with renewed focus and energy. Tom finished the 2 promised chapters successfully now. He was very satisfied with his productive study time. Tom decided it was time to find the second book now. He put his current history book back into his backpack. He quietly pushed his wooden chair under the small table. Tom walked back to the tall shelves in the history section. He looked for the shelf where the first book was located. He used the new title Lisa wrote down on the paper. The simple title was called Roman Life for Beginners. Tom scanned the long shelves for the new book quickly. He walked slowly, checking the titles very carefully now. The book was not placed where Lisa said it should be. Tom realized another person might be reading that copy. He walked toward the main counter to ask the librarian. He saw a small computer terminal near the staircase here. Tom used the simple computer to search for the book easily. He typed the name of the book into the search bar quickly. The computer screen showed the book was on a different floor. The second book was located in the simple reference area. Tom wrote down the correct floor and aisle number quickly. He was happy
to use the simple library catalog system well. He walked toward the other side of the vast, quiet room.
Tom found the entrance to the simple reference section. The reference area was even quieter than the main floor. The books here were very large and extremely heavy now. He found the correct tall shelf using the aisle number. He quickly scanned the titles on the top shelf carefully. He saw the book Roman Life for Beginners sitting there. Tom pulled the book from the high shelf with both hands. The book was unexpectedly heavy and very large now. He opened the book and saw it contained many good maps. Reference books cannot be taken out of the library here. Tom needed to read the book only while sitting inside here. He found a comfortable desk with a bright lamp nearby now. He placed the heavy book on the desk surface easily now. Tom spent 15 minutes quickly looking at the detailed maps. He learned about the geography of the entire Roman Empire. The maps helped him understand the historical expansion well. Tom felt his simple notebook would not be enough for this. He decided to come back tomorrow to read this book fully. He placed the heavy reference book back onto its high shelf. Tom was ready to check out his first history book and leave. Tom walked back down the creaking stairs to the first floor. He approached the main checkout counter quietly now. The kind librarian with glasses was still sitting there. Tom took the Rome, a short introduction book, out of his bag. He gave the book and his simple library card to her now. She scanned the book's simple barcode quickly and easily. The small computer made a soft, high-pitched beep sound. She stamped the back of the book with a black date stamp. The date showed when Tom needed to return the book safely. She said, "The book is due back in exactly 3 weeks." Tom put the library card and the book back into his backpack. He thanked the librarian for her kind and helpful service now. She wished Tom a nice afternoon and a good, easy read. Tom felt happy to have an interesting book to read at home. He knew he would return to the quiet library very soon. He walked toward the heavy wooden door to exit the building. Tom saw the small boy still drawing pictures near the entrance. He pushed the heavy door open and stepped outside easily. The city street
outside was bright and very busy again. His productive afternoon at the simple library was complete.
Tom arrived safely back at his home apartment door. He quickly put his backpack and keys on his small desk. He took the new history book out of his main backpack. Tom washed his hands to prepare for a relaxing evening. He sat down on his favorite soft living room couch now. He opened the interesting book to the next chapter easily. The next chapter discussed the great Roman army strength. Tom continued reading about the historical military strategy. He realized how smart the ancient Roman people truly were. He enjoyed the quiet time reading after the busy day here. The book was a great change from watching television shows. Tom learned many new specific words from the text now. He underlined the new vocabulary words with his pencil. He planned to check the meaning of the words tomorrow morning. Tom felt thankful for the simple resource of the library. He knew he would finish the whole book in a few days easily. He drank a glass of cool water while he was reading the story. The feeling of learning something new was very rewarding. Tom decided that visiting the local library was a great idea. He settled deeper into the couch to enjoy the quiet evening.